Well, hello everyone, and how are y'all doing? Let me see. How does this sound come out with my mic where it is right here? I'm sitting down right now because it's just too uncomfortable for me to stand. So let me know if the sound is okay. My mic's a little bit up. Normally y'all can see it in the camera, but it's a little bit further up here. We're starting to get some results coming through, some early calls here, along with some early expected to votes, some early action, some early counting is the best way to put it. Some of these things are very, very early. If you're waiting for Deaton, we should know something. I would say between 8 and 8:30 today, we should know something in terms of with Deaton. Have not seen any of the votes yet come across in their counting. I'll let you know though. Yeah, right now, 0% have reported in Massachusetts, so no news yet with Deaton. Georgia right now has Trump in the lead, but you've only got 8% of the votes counted, and I don't know yet if we're talking about that's the big cities or if that's the rural counties in Georgia. Right now, Trump a pretty big lead in Florida. They're going to be calling Florida officially here real soon. 61% of the vote counted in Florida, with 53% of that going to Donald Trump. Harris has 45% of that. Virginia is starting to get some numbers in right now. This is very, very early, and this is a super close race in Virginia. Check it out so far. Now, mind you, this is super early, so please don't read anything into this. You've got Trump and Harris both with 52,000 votes each. You've got West Virginia, Kentucky, and Indiana all going to Trump. Nothing unexpected there. The big ones we're looking for is Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Those are going to be the big swing ones on the East Coast, and we like looking at these first East Coast ones because that kind of sets the trend for the rest of the night. Think of you're out in California, right? Let's just pretend you're out in the West Coast and you start seeing those results rolling. It kind of gives you an idea of, right, what those newly registered voters are doing, and also what the volume of voting is like. Make XRP great again says, thanks for the info on the ultras. Yeah, the ultras are really good. Brooks are really, really good if they fit your feet. If they fit your feet, Brooks are awesome. I wore Brooks in my race, and that's the only thing that kept me going. Like, I had traction, so it was like really, really nice. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know if you got any questions, if there's any results you want to look up. We've got early results in Florida. Looks like Trump is going to be carrying Florida, not worried there. Georgia, you got 8% of the vote counted, and right now Trump is winning. But again, I'm not going to zoom in just yet to see if you're seeing the big ones like Atlanta or Augusta votes. Because remember, the big cities are going to swing Democratic. Rural areas are going to go more Republican. South Carolina, my home state, by the way, I voted right before I went live. Did not have to wait in any lines. I was in and out in like 5 minutes. Everyone was super friendly, a really positive experience. Hats off to South Carolina for doing it right with voting. We had 0 issues, and that is the way it should be with the votes. Give me a second. I'm just organizing some things here. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was a really, really positive experience, South Carolina voting. We've had record numbers too. We had record early voting numbers. And in fact, I saw before I went live, I saw that so far we've already got like a record number of votes because there was so much early voting going on. So to be honest with you, no matter what happens with the election, half the people are going to be happy, half the people are going to be pissed. But you know what I like? I like the fact that we get more and more and more people voting, and I hope that we get more and more people into this kind of stuff. I feel really good knowing that I've gotten to share a lot of congressional hearings with you, and I've gotten people to kind of have some fun with some of this dry political stuff. So this all matters. I think this is all very, very important here. If you've got any questions, any comments, if there's any cryptos you want to look at, let me know. This is the bubbles up on the screen. I want to show you the bubbles because I also want to see what happens here in the short term. I think if Deaton starts, if Deaton wins, I think you could definitely see some action for XRP with the Deaton win. I think that would be a huge, huge sign. Deaton results should be coming out about 8:30. We should start getting in some of the results from some of the counties, and we'll literally be able to go county by county, township by township on these states. So it's pretty cool. We'll be able to actually see like who voted what, where, when, and why. Ms. Sanchez says, hey, Klaus, or anyone that knows, when do we get the final results of the presidential race? That's going to take some time. I don't remember which state it is, but it was like Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, one of those three. I don't remember specifically which one, but it's like their counting might take up to a week long. And what's going to happen is you're going to have all these votes kind of coming in tonight. You're going to have states finalizing stuff. It's not all going to be done tonight. So I would say it might be a week until you actually have someone officially concede. I would say by Thursday morning, okay? Unless something funky happens, okay? If by Thursday morning we should have a really, 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 really good idea of who won. Will it be official yet? No, because again, the Electoral College has to do their thing. And honestly, more importantly, if it ends up being, and I don't remember what state it was, either New Mexico, Arizona, or Nevada, one of those three, it almost takes like a week for them to count their votes. And if they're, like kind of like the pivotal state of who's going to determine who's going to win, this is going to take some time. So thank you for the answer. Grant Stringer says, go Deaton and Trump if you love the USA. That's right. As soon as I get some results in, I'll be able to share them with you. But right now, we have not had any reporting results for Massachusetts. Let's do this. I'm gonna do something here real quick. Let me give me a second here. I wanna open up one more thing right here. Let's do this. Let's open up Massachusetts and let's have a separate window for Massachusetts map, because what we could do here is we can kind of be able to look at both. All right. And right now you can see it's super early. Trump 23, Cam with 3. Massachusetts, all right, this is going to be very interesting, okay? I'm not too worried about that presidential-wise. I want to see what happens with Deaton and Warren, all right? Deaton or Warren. David says, for good or bad, Klaus is the man. Well, thank you very much. It's really tough to run a channel where you have to bring bad news. I'm not a hopium channel. I'm a news channel. And when I do videos where I bring bad news, the views taper, like they really do. The subs taper. It gets really rough. So I really try to bring things, whether it's good or bad, no matter what the results are, because I think it's the fairest thing for you. Oh, BZ is in the house. Obligatory supportive comment. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Trick, better known as the Hawk around these neck of the woods, is hanging out with us as well. Charles Horn says it's Arizona because the current governor was the former election official, so they know how to drag things out. I knew it was one of those 3 states. That it's almost like they have a week, I think is what it is, to finalize and count everything out. So that's a long time. Essentially, though, what you're going to see tonight, you're going to see a whole bunch of Senate and a whole bunch of House races decided. That, no questions asked, that's going to be the deal. What's going to happen, though, is you're going to see it decided from like this East Coast right here, and you're going to start seeing all of these numbers move further west, right? The juiciness move further west. We're starting to get some numbers here in from North Carolina. This is a real big swing state. North Carolina right now, only 2% of the votes counted, but you got Cam in the lead with 68.8%. how North Carolina votes is very similar to a lot of other states where you're going to see a lot of Democratic voting in your Greensboros, right? Your bigger cities like that, your Winston-Salems, and then you're going to see a lot of Republican voting on the outside. So early right there, numbers coming out in North Carolina came up. 11% of the vote right now for Virginia has been calculated. Cam with the lead at 60% over Trumpito. Okay, but again, do we know if all we got were the big city numbers or did we get the rural ones? We could dig into that stuff, but I just want to give everyone kind of like a surface view. I see Succinct Factuality says, you know what I like? I like how I get a bit of this evening with some Klaus. How romantic. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Charles Horn says, wish I had thought of it. I would have made a crypto bingo card with House Senate figures who get called who actually support crypto. Yeah, we're going to go over those races because some of the ones we got to talk about is Sherrod Brown. That's a real big one, right? We definitely got to talk about Sherrod Brown and Moreno. That is one that I'm going to be focusing on. One of the other things that you could do too is you could go through the polls on stuff as well. I've got the Senate map up here as well so you can see the control of the Senate. I'm trying to bring it as much as I can, good or bad, happy or sad. Trick says, hey man, the market's looking green. Yeah. This is the day right now for the market. Look at this. BTC is making the moves. Everything looks pretty green right now. Sol green, Doge is green. ETH is up there too. A little pay in the corner. I like it. Crypto Wallet says buyer's remorse. Winner of the evening equals Chris Larson. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to get results this quick. And we got Simone in the house. What's up, Simone? How are you doing? I really don't. Look, I'll guarantee that no president or neither Trump or Kamala Harris is going to concede tonight. They will not concede tonight. Honestly, it's going to take a couple days. I really do. I think we're going to have to wait a couple days for the president stuff. But all this House and Senate stuff, the majority of them we should have done. Majority of them we should have wrapped up. Georgia, by the way, neighboring state for me, had a little bit of election scares. Yeah, a bunch of threats and stuff like that going on over in Atlanta. Right now, Georgia, 9% of the vote counted with Trump with 60% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 38.8%. North Carolina, another swing state. Only 2% of the vote, though, in North Carolina, so nothing too big right here. Has Harris up big time, but again, 2% of the vote. Ohio, let's swing it on over to Ohio and let me know. Hey, let me know. Oh, Winston-Salem, slapper, that's where all the furniture central of the world is. It's Winston-Salem. I love Winston-Salem. I've hung out in Winston-Salem. Yeah, I've had some fun in Winston-Salem. I used to live in Greensboro, that's why. If there's any states you want me to focus on results-wise, as soon as those polls close, they're allowed to post them, I will be able to share those with you. Bob S., what's up, Bob? And Bob, I got to admit, part of my race was on a mountain bike track. It was really rough to run on, I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. All right, so big things to look at. We're going to focus in on Massachusetts. Wait to see if we get any numbers from there. It's going to be early. I'm thinking Massachusetts is going to be probably 8:30 until we get some numbers. And what you're going to see is like your bigger areas of like New Bedford, Boston, Springfield. Those you're going to see are going to go very, very blue. But you're going to see Deaton carry a lot of this. The whole thing is, does he carry enough to cover the big cities? Because Boston's big, man. Boston's huge. So if Deaton wants to win, he has to somehow chip away at a good percentage of votes in Boston, Springfield, and New Bedford. Has to happen. I mean, he has to really, really chip away at it. And the thinking is this. If Deaton starts like showing some really strong numbers, that's a good sign for crypto. That's a very, very good sign for crypto. But like I said, we should be getting some numbers for Massachusetts within about the next 18 to 20 minutes. As soon as that rolls in, I will share those with you. Right now, we're getting those East Coast early results in. You got Virginia, 14% of the vote coming in, with Harris sitting at a 59.1% lead. And mind you, what you're seeing up on the screen is updated stats up to the second. And it's really cool about this is I've made sure to get you everything from updated crypto hotness to national elections to state-based Senate races to also what everyone maps if you want some Senate fun. So come on, I got you all covered. We could talk crypto. We could talk whatever you want. And yes, before I went live, I was a good noodle myself, and I voted. Yeah, there's my little voting sticker. And got to be honest with you, there were no lines, nothing like that. It was super easy. Very, very nice people. Super positive experience. South Carolina has always been, it's been like a favorite state for me. I really, really love South Carolina. But right now, you are seeing some of the states with some early calls. South Carolina always leans red. That's not a surprise. Kentucky, West Virginia always leans red. In terms of presidential action, one of the things that we're looking at to see too is how do people feel about this newer version of the Democratic Party? And how do people feel also about this newer looking Republican Party? And I know what you're saying. You're like, yeah, but it's still Trump. It's the same ticket. But you got to think like the Mitch McConnells of the world, those players, they're starting to fade on the scene, And so you're starting to see a turnover on both sides here. So it's pretty interesting. Slapper says, are they counting today's polls first, then mail-ins? That's all done state by state. In fact, earlier this morning, I watched a report on states, and I'm trying to think who the state was that voted on it. It was bipartisan. It might be Arizona or New Mexico, where all the mail-in and early voting is got to be counted within the first hour after elections close. That's awesome. Like, that's really good because we don't want these long delays for counting the votes. Honestly, you want results now. You want to know results right away. But let me do this. I'm going to eat some dinner here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat some dinner for a couple minutes. I'm going to put a little bit of heat map, bubble map up on the screen for you. Play some tunes. Let me eat some dinner and I will be right back. Well, hello. I'm back from some food, and now let's take a look as we've gotten some updated results here. And we got a bunch of y'all hanging out in the chat. Let me know what state you're representing, and maybe I'll bring it up on the old map. Florida, look at this. 75% of the votes in Florida counted. Trump with the lead right now, 54%. Kamala Harris, 44% of the votes. Let's just keep going on up the old East Coast. Here we go. You ready? Georgia. 25% of the vote counted in Georgia. Trump right now, 61% of the lead. Let's do the, you know what? We'll do that a little bit later. I'll swing in a little bit later and start getting y'all some individual state-by-state based results. South Carolina, 11% of the vote counted there. Trump, 59% to 39%. Kamala. North Carolina, only 3% of the vote counted. Kamala Harris, 61%, with Trump at 37%. Trucker Trash says Wisconsin. When the polls close, my good man, and we start getting some results, I'll share that with you. By the way, where in Wisconsin? I lived in Wisconsin for 3 years. Bet you didn't know that, everyone. Yeah, I did. I lived in Wisconsin for 3 years. One of the many, many states that I've lived in. All right, let's keep going up. North Carolina, we did that. Let's go to Virginia. Virginia, 21% of the vote counted right now. Harris, 54%. Trump, 43%. Let's keep going up north where we've got 15% of the vote in Ohio. Harris at 56%. Trump at 43%. Trick says, I represent the state of cabbage growers. Well done, sir. We love states' rights on this channel. Oh, I know what Jayville is. Yeah, dude. Okay, yeah, I went to military school out near there. I went to Northwestern Military in Lake Geneva, and I also went to St. John's Northwestern in Delavan when the schools merged. So I know exactly what Jayville is. In fact, I think even my cousin may have lived in Jayville, and you put Ains at the end, and you know what I'm talking about right now. You got Bo Rabbit hanging out with us as well. Bust It Golf says, I can't wait to find out the next president next year. We're going to find that out here probably, I would say, within a week. If all goes well, we should know who the president is within the next week. We're also waiting to see once we get some results with Deaton here. Ooh, excuse me. Like I said, maybe ate that food a little too quickly. We're going to get some results for Massachusetts here regarding Deaton, and as soon as we get the results, I'll be able to share it with you. We should start seeing some numbers from Massachusetts for Deaton at around 8 p.m. All right, start thinking about that. 8:30 p.m. We should get some Warren Deaton results. Oh, a couple girlfriends in Delavan and Delafield. Yeah, I did. I spent a lot of time out there in Wisconsin. I did. I lived in Wisconsin for 3 years. Lily Season says, Klaus, what's up, my dude? Just hanging out, icing my foot right now. Just throwing it out there. I'm icing my foot. As you can see, I'm seated, right? I'm not all like, animated because I can't really move that well just yet. I did take my GoPro with on the race, and I GoPro'd my race. It was actually really freaking awesome. Everyone can thank Noti for that because Noti was actually bugging me, asking me if I was going to record the race or not. So big shout out to Noti for reminding me to record it and actually motivating me to record the race so that I can share it all with you. But no results yet on the Senate side for Massachusetts. Florida's got 76% reporting. Florida, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to pencil that one in for Donald Trump. Georgia, 32% of the vote in Georgia right now. I'm very interested in that. I am very, very interested in Georgia. Give me a second here. I'm gonna pull something up. Okay, let's do this. Let's pull up Georgia because let's dig a little bit deeper into Georgia because this one, it all depends on who's reporting here, all right? So Georgia right now, 33% reporting. You got Trump with the lead of 54%, Kamala at 44.7%. So let's zoom into Georgia, all right? And let's start looking at the numbers here. And this is what I wanted to share with you, okay? What you're going to see is you're going to see some of these bigger cities here go very big towards Kamala Harris, all right? And look, Atlanta hasn't had that many people. Fulton County, their votes haven't shown up yet. These are going to be big Kamala Harris districts, all right? And I'm going to be able to share with you how this all works. So if you got questions, just let me know. So yeah, you're going to see big blue chunks in the big cities. Savannah's going to go blue. Augusta's going to go blue. Macon, Georgia's going to go blue. Athens, you're going to see go blue. Atlanta, go blue. But the question is Trump going to carry enough red here to negate the big blue votes? Right now, you've got Trump with the lead at 54% of the votes. Kamala Harris at 44%, but only 33%. Only 33% of these votes have been counted. So you can see, though, those big cities like Atlanta. If Atlanta, think about that, okay? Think of how big Atlanta is. And hey, I used to live in Iowa too, Cody Zug. Seriously, I did. I lived in Iowa for 3 years? I think 2 years. 2 years, something like that. Yeah, I lived out that way too. But what you're going to see with these is look at Atlanta. Atlanta's got a massive population, right? Millions of people in the metro Atlanta area. And if you see big numbers for Harris, that can outweigh a bunch of these votes for Trump in these small counties. For instance, look at this. I'm going to go on Fulton County, okay? And that's where Atlanta is right now. I'm going to show you guys how this all works, and gals, how this all works. Right now, Kamala Harris has 214,000 votes just from Fulton County. Let's go to a real rural county, all right? So you've got just outside of Athens, you got Trump only 1,700 votes. So you're going to see some big numbers come out of Fulton County, Clark County, Burke County, Richmond County is going to be a big one, and obviously Chatham County is going to be a big one as well. We got Texas representing in the House, and we're starting to get some more states. Here we go. I told you Florida would be called here pretty soon. We've got Trump going with Florida. You got Maryland for Harris, and let's see, you got Vermont for Harris as well. So nothing really too shocking right now. 33% of the vote in Georgia has been counted. Trump has the lead, but we haven't seen the big numbers reported yet from Atlanta. We need to see those numbers. North Carolina as well, right? That's a big battle state right there. North Carolina right now only has 5% of the votes in. That's it, just 5% of the votes. And right now, Harris has a lead at 51% Virginia's got 25% of the votes in right now, and we just got some Texas results that I'm going to share with you here soon. You got Virginia right now, 25% reported. Harris with the lead, 54% over Trump at 44%. Texas, 5% of the votes rolled in for Texas right now. Early lead for Kamala Harris in Texas. 5% of the votes, though, rolling in. And you're going to start seeing some numbers kind of roll across here. In fact, let's do this. Let's take a look at Massachusetts and see. Oh, this doesn't look good. Yeah. I'm not going to say what I'm seeing on the screen, but I'm just going to leave it and just be quiet. And we're just going to see what happens with Massachusetts for Warren. As soon as we get some numbers here, I will be able to share it with you. The whole thing is, though, is we know Warren is going to carry Boston, Worcester, Springfield, and New Bedford. Those areas, those districts, she is definitely going to carry. But we want to see how much Deaton can pull from those. That's the whole key, right? That's the vote for crypto. And that's why we're going to pay very close attention to the individual districts here in Massachusetts. But right now, you're starting to see some more states coming in. Oklahoma, we know, Missouri. None of these are surprises here, okay? None of these are surprises. The ones that we're really going to be paying attention to is going to be Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania right off the bat here. And, of course, we're going to be touching a little bit of Ohio, okay? Right now, we're getting some early results in with a few states here called already. If you look at it, right now, Trump has 9.2 million votes. Harris right now at 7.9 million. Christopher Brown says, I live in Ipswich, Massachusetts. I voted Deaton. Thank you, Christopher, for sharing. Christopher, let us know, what was your voting experience like out there? I voted right before I went live. I live in South Carolina. I live very rurally. I had no lines. I went right in. It was great. Great experience. So let me know what you thought about your voting experience out there in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, I'm waiting for some numbers to show up here. Yeah, we're waiting for it. Haven't had any numbers roll in for Massachusetts. Like I said, we were expecting between 8 to 8:30. Rift is here for Massachusetts as well, says Deaton all the way. Yeah, as soon as I get some results for you, I'm going to share them with you regarding Deaton. He's going to need to pull some votes, though. He's going to need to pull some numbers out of Springfield, Boston, and New Bedford. We all know that, right? We all know that. That's how it's going to happen. Now, look at this. This is what I was talking about, okay? In the United States, you see a lot of these bigger cities. Your Atlanta, your Augusta, your Savannah. They're going to lean towards that Democratic side. So for people out there looking for Trump to win, it's how much of this rural vote is Trump going to steal, right? What's his percentage? Is he going to come with some strong percentages to negate the big city vote? Because think about this, right? Look at Fulton County, okay? Fulton County in Georgia right now has Kamala Harris 71% of the vote at 214,000 votes. Now let's go to a smaller county like Heard County. Donald Trump is winning with 85% of the votes, but there's only 3,000 votes counted. So you can see these little counties of 3,000 votes, 9,000 votes, 12,000, 31,000, 10,000 is nothing compared to the big hitters of Atlanta, 214,000, Augusta, 38,000, Savannah's early reporting right there. Macon right now has got Kamala Harris up 26,000 votes to 17,000 for Trump. So you're going to see a very interesting detail, a very interesting stat that comes out of this is how much do the Republicans take away from the big city votes, and do the Republicans have enough of a strength from the rural areas to take it away from the Democrats? Now, if you're a Democratic fan, what is your strategy? The Democratic strategy is lock down the big cities, right? Get big chunks of votes in these big cities and try to steal some of these rural ones away. That's honestly going to be the playbook that you're going to see. The Democrats have very much a very strong grassroots movement in order to get people to vote. Just throwing it out there, all right? The Republicans, they're trying to get the rural vote as well, but they need to chip away at those big cities. So just kind of sharing everyone how it works on both sides of the aisle. Getting a little bit more results in right now. We're getting some early results from Kansas, only 1% in, so I'm not going to share that one. Georgia now is at 36% of the vote counted, with Trump at the lead, 1.1 million votes for Trump, with Kamala Harris at 850,000. Now, mind you, we have yet to see Atlanta. Only half the votes for Atlanta have been counted, and if the trend continues, she's going to pull at least another 200,000 votes from Fulton County, all right? That's where Atlanta is based. Augusta, you're going to see the same thing. She's going to pull another 30-plus thousand votes from there. Same thing, Savannah. Savannah, you're going to see go big time for Kamala Harris. In Savannah, you're going to see another 30, 40,000 votes the other way. So it's very early. But right now, you're seeing Trump in the lead with Georgia, and that's one of those big swing states. Swinging it on over to Massachusetts, and I have not seen any results yet. I'm going to bring up Twitter right here, and what I'm going to also do is I'm going to bring up Deaton on Twitter. Give me a second here. I'm going to bring up Deaton on Twitter because I want to see if anything comes out on the socials. Give me a second here. I want to see if anything comes out on the socials. So I'll keep you all up to date with that. His last post was 2 hours ago, so I'll make sure I touch on that every so often. We're getting some early results in from Michigan. Ooh, I saw Wax and Moonrocks. Someone just got my attention. Moonrocks are where it's at, man. Totally where it's at. New Hampshire's got 10% of the votes. Kamala Harris right now with about a 10% lead in New Hampshire. Maine just started reporting. The big one, though, is Georgia. Right now, the big one is Georgia, but we have not counted a lot of the votes out of Fulton County just yet. South Carolina is going to go to Donald Trump once we get more of the votes rocked in. South Carolina has enough rural votes to outdo, say, Columbia and so forth. And also within Columbia, you also see a bigger Republican base there, as this is the dirtiest South, the Bible Belt South. Dirty South is actually ATL. I like thinking it that way. North Carolina, only 8% of the votes recorded right now in North Carolina, with Kamala Harris with a 10-point lead in North Carolina. Virginia, Kamala Harris with the lead as well, with 28% of the vote right now being recorded. How do the crypto markets look? Honestly, pretty bullish. I like this. This makes me feel pretty good. I'm very glad to see, very happy to see, that's a better way to put it. I'm very happy to see that crypto is holding its own right now through this election. And the big states that we're going to be paying attention to are Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Okay, those are going to be the first couple that we've been looking for. Dude, for real, moon rocks, man, are where it's at. Like, for real, just throwing it out there. Right now, Texas, we're getting 17% of the vote in Texas. And right now, Texas looks like a pretty much dead tie. 49.4% for Trump, 49.3% for Kamala Harris. Hopefully, y'all are enjoying the crypto/election coverage tonight. I got to be honest with everyone. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull this off because I'm honestly not feeling really good right now. But I think this is worth it. I think this is worth to share with everyone. And I'm really, really glad that y'all are watching. Really, really glad. This makes me feel good getting the interaction like this. Georgia right now, 37% counted, 8% North Carolina, Virginia 29%. We're waiting for Massachusetts. We're starting to get results in for Massachusetts. Hold on, everyone. We're starting to get, all right, here we go. We're starting to get results pour in for Massachusetts. Super, super early. Don't read anything into this right now, but the numbers are tabulating up on the screen. Hopefully y'all can see it. Early votes right now, not even 1% of the vote has been counted. And right now, Warren has a very commanding lead. But like I said, it's super early. Only really 1% of the vote. It looks like the one that we've got is Clarksburg. Has got some early votes in, and that's a pretty small county, northern Massachusetts. And we also got, yes, the tip, Princetown, right now getting some early action in. Strawberry lemonade is pretty good, too. Look at y'all making me think about that action. So starting to get those results in for Deaton. As more results come in, I will be sure to share it with you. But right now, you've only got about 3,500 votes counted for Massachusetts, so nothing too big, so don't read into that at all. Let's go back to the Georgia map here, right? This is the big one that we're going to be focusing on all night, and I got to be honest with everyone watching right now. Can you tell I'm enjoying myself? Like, if I were to ever to, like, redo life over again, I think I would want to do, like, the news. Like, and I know I do the news here, but, like, I think, like, I would have wanted to do it, like, earlier. Like, seriously, I really like doing this. This is a lot of fun. All right, so let's take a look at the big counties here. So we're going to talk about Fulton County. Fulton County is a big one. Only 50% of the votes been counted in Fulton County, and it's heavy towards Harris. DeKalb County, just east of Atlanta, is going to be another big Harris one. 0% of the vote has been counted there. You're going to see this one come in just a little bit later. Clayton County, you're going to see that as well. Not as big of a county. That's just south of Atlanta suburbs. Commanding lead for Harris right there. In terms of Savannah, Savannah's only got 5% of the vote that's been recorded. Nothing too big stat-wise. Now look at this. This is Augusta, okay? Richmond County. All right, Richmond County, this is border of South Carolina here. So it's a big city with a rural vibe. This kind of gives you an idea of how voters are in a kind of like a very mixed atmosphere. This is very close to me, by the way. Kamala Harris right now, 69% of the votes, with Trump at 29% of the votes. So you're seeing these big cities outsway it. And so what blue is telling you, blue is the Democrats, all right? Red is the Republicans. So I want you to think about this, right? Let's go back onto Fulton County right now, okay? Fulton County, Kamala Harris has 214,000 votes. So let's go to some of these deep red ones, right? Here's one, Banks County. Trump has 9,000 votes. Hall County, 49,000. 10,000 in White County. Habersham County, 16,000. Stevens County, 10,000. So a lot of small ones. So in order for the Republicans to win a lot of these states, they're going to have to carry a lot of rural areas very heavily. Very. You're going to have to see some big numbers, 80-20, 75-25 towards Trump, if he has a chance to carry Georgia. But right now, he is in the lead right now in Georgia. 1.3 million votes for Trump in Georgia, with just over 1 million for Harris, with 44% of the vote being counted. Background noises, this is fun. I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you all enjoy this. We're talking crypto. We're talking elections. We're also talking deep dive into the elections. Results are starting to come in from Massachusetts with Warren and Deaton. Less than 1% of the vote is in, so I'm not really too worried about it. Right now, we've got a 90-27 lead for Trump. Thank you, Trick, better known as the Hawk in these neck of the woods, hanging out with us tonight. We got some results in from Texas, 17% of the vote calculated. Texas is going to be an interesting one. I want to see how Texas goes. There's a lot of votes up for stake at there. 50.8% for Texas for Trump, 47% for Kamala. Kansas, right now, only 6% of the vote counted, so real early in Kansas. Kansas has Kamala right now at 52%, Trump at 45%. Illinois, we know, is going to go blue. That's my state where I grew up for the first 30 years of my life. Very early results just pouring in there. Now, Georgia, we're keeping an eye on because this is a big swing one. Key state for Democrats, key state for Republicans. A lot of experts out there are saying for the Republicans to win, they got to carry Georgia. They're saying they got to carry Georgia. Right now, you've got 44% of the votes counted. Trump right now in the lead with 53%. Kamala with 44%. John Saysock says, got my passport ready. Look what's up on the screen. I've got my passport ready. I do. It's like literally right here, right up on the screen. See? So there you go. I'm ready to travel as well. And I'm going to be traveling here very soon, so you're going to have to deal with that. RVR Rockets says, hope the race went well. Race went really well. I had a blast. I had a freaking blast. The race was awesome. I stuck to my plan, and we did great. We did really good. I'm currently icing my foot right now because my ankles and my feet are just destroyed from all the trees and roots and all that kind of shit. So that wasn't any fun. North Carolina, only 9% of the vote right now for North Carolina being counted. Pretty close one so far with Kamala at 51% over Trump's 47%. Virginia, we got some bigger numbers rolling in for Virginia here. Just got an update. Update for Virginia. We've got Kamala Harris right now, 51% lead over Donald Trump's 46. 31% of the votes right there. Oh my God. Trucker Tress says, I grew up in Janesville. However, my family's from Joliet. I recognize your name as Chi-Town area name. Yeah. yeah, lived in Romeoville for like tons and tons of years. So, dude, I totally know Joliet. Yeah, I got lots of family still out in Illinois. Early votes in Virginia. Let's swing it on over to Massachusetts and see. Right now, it is not looking good for Deaton, but these are early results that we're seeing roll in from Massachusetts. And this is why it was going to be a tough road for Deaton. This is the House race, okay? It's big in blue. Let's just be real here. Massachusetts is a big blue one. It's going to be hard for Deaton to win, but it's still early. You've got not even 1% of the vote right there. Let's swing it on back over to the U.S. map and let's overlay some bubbles, because isn't it nice to look at some juicy green on the screen when it comes to crypto? Trucker Trash is nice. Used to deliver in Romeo. I loved Romeoville, but the whole area got built up so fast, man. My wife and I both loved it, and it did. It just got built up fast, man. Womble Stacker is hanging out with us right now in the house. What's up, Womble Stacker? If there's any states you want me to check on election-wise, let me know, and I will gladly share that with you. Right now, we've got, it looks like anywhere from 99 to 90 Electoral College votes for Trump, 27 for Kamala Harris. Still very, very early. You're gonna see Harris carry Illinois. That's not even gonna be a question. You're gonna see her cover a lot of these northeastern ones. That's not even gonna be a big deal, you know. So there you go. Fire Marshal Bill says I went to Villarica. Granny lived there. Oh, there you go. There you go, hanging out, everyone. Love it, love it. Yeah, way too many warehouses, but a great place to do a little bit of street racing and shenanigans, like burnouts and stuff like that. Yeah, we used to do some really dumb shit in Romeoville. It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Georgia, 45% of the vote counted right now in Georgia. This is the one we're paying a very close attention to. 45% of the vote in right now in Georgia. Trump with the lead at 55%. Kamala at 43%. When we zoom into Georgia, we're getting those numbers in. Look at this. We're seeing those big numbers. Now look at Atlanta. Harris is carrying Atlanta with 71% of the vote. That's a big, big margin, all right? Big, big margin. Let's also look at Savannah. Savannah, early numbers, all right? Let's swing it on over to Augusta, where we got a lot of the vote in. Kamala, 69%. So this is going to be an interesting one, because a lot of these rural counties, you're seeing some strong percentages with Trump, but he might need a little bit more than that to win. And Harris might need to pull some stronger numbers out of Fulton County if she wants to win. That's something to think about. If she could do Fulton and DeKalb County, that's like with a little bit stronger margins, that's going to make it hard for Trump in Georgia. But right now, Trump is in the lead in Georgia. 1.4 million votes for Trump, 1.1 for Kamala Harris. That's a 55 to 44% margin. We're getting more votes in for Warren and Deaton right now. Still about less than 3% of the vote right now, if even that. Maybe less than 2% of the vote counted right now. Warren's got a commanding lead over Deaton, but it is very, very early in the evening. You just got to be careful, because these big, big Bostons, right? Boston, New Bedford, Springfield, we know how they're going to vote, right? We know those are going to go blue. It's very similar to Illinois. Very, very similar to Illinois. Big cities go blue, rural goes red. Got some numbers in from Mississippi as well. Real early. Texas, 27% of the vote in Texas has been counted, with the lead to Donald Trump right now at 53%. Illinois, we know it's going to swing blue eventually. Wait when the Chicago vote rolls in. I lived there for 30 years. I know exactly how it goes. Michigan, only 4% of the votes in. Kamala Harris, a commanding lead. Ohio, I'm going to pay attention to as well, because this one is getting closer and closer as we do it. Yeah, I know. The Deaton thing, it's a tough road, man. It is a very, very tough road. Ohio right now, 38% of the vote counted in Ohio. 1.14 million votes to Kamala Harris. 1.11 million votes for Trump. They are within 1% percentage point. That is amazing. Massachusetts, we're starting to get more numbers in, and Warren looks like she is just absolutely pounding Deaton. It's still way early. Still way, way early, but let's be real here. We know where Boston's going to vote. We know how New Bedford's going to vote and how Springfield's going to vote. We know that, right? That's just something we've all been paying attention to. The Georgia one is interesting. Georgia, we've almost got 50% of the vote counted in Georgia, and you can see Kamala Harris a commanding lead with Atlanta Metro. But is she going to carry enough of Atlanta Metro? Is she going to carry enough of Augusta and Augusta Metro as well? So very, very, very interesting to see the votes that she is going to carry in these big cities. And very interesting to see what the lead is for Trump in these smaller counties here. Now, we're going to swing it on over. All right, we've got more results for Massachusetts. Warren right now, 60,000 votes to Deaton's 20,000. Warren putting on a show in Massachusetts. 74% of the vote. Wow. Wow. That is a big number right there. AI Wolf says Deaton won the senator seat. No, not a chance. Right now, it is Warren who is going to be keeping her Senate seat. And that's why I got pissed about a week ago when someone commented and said, bro, it's just about exposing Warren. It's not about exposing Warren. It's about getting these people out and getting more updated action in. And we didn't get that. We're getting some more results in from Mississippi. Texas is getting us some quick results. Kansas has got some stuff coming in as well. Ohio is getting closer. Look at this. Just got some updated numbers from Ohio. Kamala Harris, 49.7% of the vote. Donald Trump, 49.5%. That is neck and neck in Ohio. Georgia still has Trump with a pretty significant lead. Trump seems to be leading by about 300,000 votes in Georgia, but you're still waiting for more Atlanta votes to roll in. But it looks like Trump's going to carry about 25%. Al Wolf, no, Deaton did not win. Deaton did not win at all. Deaton not even close. In fact, the numbers from Deaton show Warren right now, 74.6% of the vote that has been turned in right now. That is rough. That is rough. But we've got other elections to pay attention to tonight. But we're going to see what happens here because we're starting to get some rural votes coming in for Deaton. So it'll be interesting to see how many rural districts he covers. Georgia, we got now over 50% of the vote in for Georgia. Trump with about a 300,000 vote lead in Georgia. We're still waiting for Savannah, all right? There's your wild card in Georgia, okay? We've only got about 5% of the vote in Savannah. You're going to get a whole bunch more votes coming from Savannah. Macon, Bibb County, we're making it, all right? 64% votes, so you still got some more going on right there. Augusta, still got to report a lot there. That's going to be a blue one. Athens, right? Clark County, all right? That's going to be another big one for Kamala Harris. Only 1% of the votes counted there, so there's going to be a lot of big city votes that we are still waiting to come in. And what you can see here is Athens, blue as could be, right? But surrounded by red. That's the big city Democratic vote surrounded by the rural Republican vote. Hey, just saying, said, is crypto going south now? No, not at all. Crypto is definitely not going south right now. In fact, if you look at it, we're doing pretty good. How does XRP look? All right, XRP right now is sitting at 51.8. Not a big deal. XRP's not taking the news too bad. That's a good thing. Al Wolf, like, seriously, like, Deaton did not win. I don't know what you're talking about. Deaton did not win. It is turning out to be an absolute slaughter for Deaton in Massachusetts. But Georgia's a surprise that we're following. North Carolina is dragging their feet with the vote. North Carolina, you got to be careful with because North Carolina, you could get those late votes in from Greensboro. You could get them in from Raleigh. You could get a big batch of late votes in from Winston-Salem. And we know that can definitely sway the election one way or the other. Swinging in on over to Deaton, and he is just getting pummeled right now against Warren. Absolutely pummeled. Right now, Warren has 73% of the vote, while Deaton only has 26%. Bob S. says, fire Gensler and get some regs. Yeah. When we get this new session of Congress in, we can start talking about new regs again. Someone brought up Ohio. Diablo says Donald's leading Ohio. Right now, we got 41% of the vote in for Ohio. This is a real close one, everyone. Look at this. 41% of the vote in for Ohio. Trump right now with the lead. 50.1% with Kamala Harris right there at 49.2%. So we're going to have a nail biter in Ohio along with another nail biter in Georgia. This is going to be a wild, wild night. Because if it's that close in Georgia and that close in Ohio, oh, you better buckle up because it's going to be a crazy few days. We're still waiting for more votes to come in from North Carolina. Pennsylvania's got 8% of the votes registered right now, so nothing too big result-wise there. Ohio, though, telling you, that is close. Ohio is separated by 21,000 votes. Can you believe that right now? That is how close Ohio is. 21,000 votes separates Trump and Harris in Ohio. Georgia right now, 50% of the vote calculated. Trump's got about a 300,000 vote lead in Georgia. Mississippi, we're getting some early results in Texas. Texas fans in the house. Al Wolf, no worries, man. No worries at all, dude. Texas, right now we got 40% of the vote in for Texas. Right now, Trump with a 4% lead in Texas, about 180,000 vote lead. Kansas, some early results in. Illinois, we know is going to go blue, so we can pencil that one on in. Mississippi, early results, and right now we're looking up on some of these northeast ones here. New Hampshire, we know is going to go to Kamala Harris, 17% of the vote counted there. Maine, we know which way that's going to go. Swinging it in on over to the Deaton sphere. And right now, you've got multiple sources saying that Deaton is getting absolutely slaughtered. Miguel Casillas says, I lived in rural Pennsylvania, and outside of the big cities, it's a red state. Yeah, it's got everyone, guys and gals. This is just like Georgia, just like Illinois, too. I lived in Illinois, and I can tell you exactly how Chicago voted. My wife's from Chicago, our whole family's from Chicago. And then once you leave Chicago, it's mostly Republican. Like all the farmers down south, it's mostly Republican. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff here to see. Big cities lean Democratic, right? Your rural areas go Republican. So, again, if the Democrats want to win, they got to carry big percentages in the big city dense population areas, right? And they got to steal some of the vote from this rural stuff. For the Republicans to win, they got to chip away at that big city vote and knock down 5, 6, 7, 10% on that. They also got to carry the rural vote. So, for instance, all right, let's look at Georgia, okay? So I hung out in Georgia. I was racing all the way up in northern Georgia. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Look at these counties up here. Trump, 86%. Trump, 80%, 80%, 80%, 80%, 84%, 82%. Those are big numbers. But these counties only have like 8,000 votes, maybe 10,000 votes, maybe 15,000, and they add up. But it's nothing as big as Fulton County with Atlanta. Now, Fulton County, look at this, everyone. We're at 72% of the vote right now, okay, for Fulton County. 72% vote, you got a lot of that going to Kamala Harris. The wild card, though, is this, right here, Savannah. We're going to pay attention to Savannah, okay, because Savannah is going to lean very heavily towards Kamala Harris, but Savannah's only reported 5% of their votes right now. Someone said something about, yo, bro, can we see how Sherrod Brown is doing in Ohio? And you bet your butt I can help you out with that because it's Sherrod Brown and Moreno. And Moreno is the pro-crypto candidate in Ohio. So let's go on over to that right now and let's see what I can find for you. Right now, in the Senate race with Sherrod Brown and Bernie Moreno. And remember, Moreno is the pro-crypto guy going for Senate right now in Ohio. Sherrod Brown right now with 1.2 million votes, with Moreno with 1.15 million votes. Again, when you look at Ohio plays much like the other states out there, where you see the big ones, right? Franklin County, right, where Columbus is, big-time Democratic strongholds, your Clevelands, your Toledos, your Cincinnatis, Dayton, all right? And what's interesting with Dayton is Dayton, you want to see what percentage of that goes Republican versus Democratic. Very interesting. Christine Dryden says, congrats on your race, Klaus, and from the UK. Love seeing all the support from across the pond. This is really cool to see UK viewers and others from across the pond hanging out with us, checking out some United States election drama. Let me get a little bit of a quick drink here so I could wet my whistle. And I am thoroughly enjoying myself this evening. I really, really, really am loving this kind of stuff. It is just hot AF in here. I've got 3 computers on. I've got several monitors on. I've got my lights on in the background. I've got that light on. It's a little toasty in here right now because I'm getting all excited. Right now, 42% of the vote in Fort Texas with Trump, with about an 6% lead right now in Texas. Georgia is still very interesting here, okay? Georgia right now, Trump's lead is growing in Georgia. Oh, dude, you got to go to Flying J. You got to go to Flying J. Come on now, man. You got to go to Flying J. And I got to be honest with you, Loves. Loves more than anything. Loves is like the best one. North Carolina, 14% of the vote in there. Let's go into Ohio, okay? Let's dig just a little bit deeper here into Ohio because this thing is freaking close. Look at this. It's close between Sherrod Brown and Bernie Moreno, and it is also close with Trump and Harris. Look at this. The Ohio vote right now is only separated by about 38,000 votes. That's it, everyone. 38,000 votes. So it really does matter. Every vote really does count because some of these races are going to be super, super close. Let's get to some of those comments. I see Dizzle Art or SRT4, hopefully a Dodge fan, I would think, right? SRT4, you got to be a Dodge neon right there. This is good stuff working. Board, this is keeping me going. Trump wins Ohio, we will win. Yeah, if Trump carries Georgia too, that honestly, the Republicans and the Democrats are both fighting really, really hard over Georgia. Georgia's going to be a key one. I'm telling you, we're going to be paying a lot of attention to Georgia tonight about this. Miguel Casillas says, thanks for doing this election live stream, Klaus. A lot more informative than what I've been seeing on traditional news channels. Well, thank you very much. I'm really trying my best to provide you all with the best value for your time without hopium bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just throwing it out there. Like, without, hopium stuff. Right now, Trump's lead in Georgia is 330,000. This is crazy because a lot of people weren't expecting Georgia to go this strong. Now, granted, the Savannah vote has not come in yet, okay? From Chatham County, where Savannah is. I'm telling you right now, that is something that can sway this whole thing. But let's swing it on out to Ohio because that's one that y'all are looking at. Ohio is super close. Trump's lead in Ohio right now about 60,000 votes. When we go to the Sherrod Brown, Bernie Moreno, our pro-crypto candidate, SRT4 neons are not bad at all because when you stage 3, stage 4 them bad boys, them things can move. Just throwing it out there, man. Them things can move. But Sherrod Brown for the Democrats right now has a slight lead, about a 70,000 vote lead over Bernie Moreno. So you're seeing a couple pro-crypto people losing pretty heavily. Warren is absolutely bashing Deaton right now. Just bashing Deaton. And you're seeing Sherrod Brown in Ohio hold his own right now. And so we're going to keep paying attention to those two races. The Georgia one is shocking. I got to be honest with you. We've been watching this Georgia one since the beginning. And the margin of lead for Trump has been growing. But you're also not having any numbers right now from Savannah. Augusta's got some
more votes to roll in. Bibb County's got some. But you also see a bunch of rural counties here that don't have any numbers in at all. And you know it's going to be red for the rural areas and blue for the Democrats. Super Shade Tutorial says, get Sherrod out of Ohio. Speaking of Sherrod, he's got a lead. He's got a 70,000 vote lead right now. And you know the deal in Ohio, right? Ohio, look at this. Only 40% of the vote in Franklin County's in. 41% from Montgomery County. 36% from Hamilton County. 34% from Cuyahoga, where Cleveland is. So the big counties in Ohio are still not getting anything big yet. Like, there's going to be a lot of Democratic votes rolling in from those big Ohio counties, those urban Ohio counties. I saw a question. Christine Dryden says, when will official numbers start coming in? Some of these, the polls are already closed. So these are actual counted numbers right now that are being reported. And you are seeing some concessions very, very early on. I've got Deaton's up on the screen because I want to see if he says anything. He hasn't posted anything for a few hours, but right now it is not looking good for Deaton at all. In terms of presidential election-wise right now, you're looking at 18.3 million votes for Trump, with Kamala Harris right now at 15.4 million votes. Christine, I would expect the presidential election to be called within a week. Most of these Senate and House votes should be called by tonight, if not early tomorrow morning. Now, there are certain states, though, that need a little bit more time to count their votes, but the majority of the stuff we should know within the next 24 hours. Let's take a roll on over to Texas. All right, Texas, 53% of the vote in for Texas right now. Got Trump with a 4% lead over Harris right now, with about a 300,000 vote lead. Let's go look at Ohio quick and see if that margin is growing. Look at this. Trump right now up 60,000 votes in Ohio. But remember, we haven't seen the numbers from those big urban counties yet. Georgia's another one that's been shocking us. And look at this. Trump right now with a 330,000 vote lead in Georgia. But remember, we haven't seen Savannah's numbers yet. Savannah is a very big Democratic stronghold, and that could carry votes. Can it carry 300,000? That's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough. North Carolina, 21% of the numbers in. Trump has a lead right now of about 70-ish thousand votes right there. Ohio's numbers are close. Ohio's numbers are very close. Let's see, Michigan right now. Michigan has Harris up big with only 7% of the vote. Christine says, yes, they are predicted based on the numbers that are reported. So essentially when you see these people call it, they're pretty much saying, look, there's no statistical chance for that person to win that state. Let's see. Bob says, they extended the hours in Cambria County, Pennsylvania because of technical issues. Yeah, if y'all hear any reports that you want to share with the group, please do so. If you're getting any local election news, as I get stuff, like I said, I got a couple computers going. I've also got my cell phone going on here. As I get stuff, I'm going to be sharing that with you as well. More votes coming in, and it is not looking good for Deaton right now. Warren right now is commanding 67.7% of the votes. Deaton carrying 32%. Wow. Charles Horn says, I remember going to bed 4 years ago when the guy I voted for had no statistical chance of losing, though. Charles, the thing is this, though. If I were to show you, if I were to show you Fox News' version of this map, it would look different than, say, CNN's version. Different than MSNBC's version. So you have to be very careful where you get your data from and the reporting data. I'm not calling anything until I see the big cities come in with their votes along with the rural, because both matter. Both definitely matter. Bob said those hours in Pennsylvania got extended to 10 p.m. What was the original cutoff, Bob? Was it a 7 p.m., 8 p.m. cutoff? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Dwight Dellinger says, hot and spicy. Let's go. Yeah, hot and spicy is Georgia. Georgia's totally hot and spicy because Trump right now has got a lead with 55.6% of the votes. That's nuts. North Carolina, we've only got 21% of the vote recorded right now with Trump with the lead, but we haven't seen the big cities roll out yet. Maryland, Delaware, Vermont, Massachusetts, we know those are going to go blue. Illinois is going to go blue as well. No shock there. Oklahoma, we know, is going to go red. No shock there. Arkansas, same thing. You're going to see lots of big rural numbers come in for Arkansas. Christine Dryden says, what news channel on TV is pro-Trump? Fox News is very pro-Trump. They would be like, of like your mainstream ones, they would be like your biggest mainstream one. Miguel Casillas says, what I want to know is the people counting the votes being watched by someone else who's being watched by someone else to keep things honest and fair? Yeah, I do have some problems with how the voting is done. And mainly the reason I have the problems with how the voting is done is because I think it still takes too long. I do. I still think we have too much of a gap in time to get the results on this stuff. And I think that makes it tough. I think in the age that we live in right now, we expect results real quick. Bob, getting back to us. Thanks, Bob. I really appreciate it. And if you've got local election news that you want to share, please do. Bob says, originally 8 p.m., a 2-hour delay. All right, cool. Love getting that kind of information out there. We did not have any delays out by me. In fact, I was able to get in and out very easily with the voting. Now, are there any states, anything like that you want me to touch on? Because right now we're getting results from a lot of East Coast, and we're starting to get some more Midwest numbers rolling in right now, but it's still very early. Michigan, it's still way early to even consider calling anything there. Pennsylvania, way too early as well. Only 12% of the vote counted there. Virginia's an interesting one. Virginia right now looks pretty much deadlock tied. 43% of the vote with Kamala Harris having a lead of under 4,000 votes right now in Virginia. How close are things in Ohio? Well, right now, Trump has about a 90,000 vote lead in Ohio. What about Georgia? Another one of those battleground states, all right? Right now, Trump, a 360,000 vote lead in Georgia. That's crazy. We've got New York. Fire Marshal Bill says, hey, let's go to New York. New York does not have any reported numbers rolling on in just yet. As soon as we get some numbers from New York, I will be sure to share it with you. And so, I wanted to show you this, okay? You're going to see this map. You're going to see this map. And what you're going to notice is they're different. They are. They're very different, and it has to do with how these people count it. So, for instance, right, this one that I'm going to use primarily is Trump with 105, Harris with 27, where this one has Trump with 111, Harris with 31. So each one is going to have just a little bit. That's why I'm actually looking at the percentage of votes and where we're at, all right? Where we are at. As soon as I get those New York numbers in, I will be sure to share it with you. What you'll see is if you get this checkerboard pattern in right here, they will start reporting those numbers. We've got some numbers coming in from New Jersey. Harris, a pretty big lead in New Jersey. Only 12% of the vote right now in Pennsylvania. Harris right now commanding lead, but again, it is very early. Yeah, New York goes blue, but New York rolls the same way as everyone else, right? Big cities go Democratic, rural areas go Republican. North Carolina, 24% of the vote in right now, with Trump holding about a 90,000 vote lead right there. Let's overlay a little bit of crypto bubbles up on the screen, and you can see that the market is fairly positive about this. Fairly positive. Oh, and thank you, Christine, for supporting the channel. Christine becoming an entry-level supporter. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. I really do. I appreciate all the support, the comments. It means a lot to me because I really enjoy doing this. And even though I don't feel good right now, I really don't. I do not feel good at all. I still think it's totally worth it to bring you this election coverage. So thank you very much, Christine. I appreciate it. And everyone else out there, as is customary, please thank Christine as well for supporting the channel. Now, let's take a look at some of these other numbers here, because Texas, they just updated everyone. We just got an update on Texas. 56% of the vote counted right now. Trump has about a 430,000 vote lead in Texas. Texas is a big one. Texas has got 40 electoral college votes, all right? So that's a big one. Christine says you're definitely worth it, my friend. Well, thank you. That is very nice. I really, really appreciate it. And y'all are worth it too. That's why I'm icing my foot as I bring you the news so that, like, I can still be productive while recovering. Now, Georgia's at 62% of the vote, but look at this. The numbers just came closer in Georgia. We're going to zoom into Georgia because this is exactly what I was telling you about. Look at this. Trump's margin is starting to shrink in Georgia. He used to have a 300,000 lead in Georgia, but now he's only at a 270,000 vote lead. 72% of Fulton County has come in with their votes. What about Savannah? Savannah has still not reported. Savannah is going to be the wild card in Georgia. It might all come down to Chatham County. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Wow. Wow, is this nuts. Let's see what else. How much do we have from Bibb County? Bibb County's got 64%. Augusta, 63%. So you're going to get some more Kamala votes in Augusta. Trump's lead right now, though, only 180,000 votes in Georgia. He was one time sitting at over 300,000 in the lead. So Georgia's going to be a close one. What about Ohio? Yeah, let's talk Ohio, because guess what, everyone? In the Bernie Moreno, Sherrod Brown race, right now Sherrod Brown only has a lead of 34,000 votes. That's it, 34,000 votes, and you've only got about 45% of the votes counted. Now, presidential election-wise, here's the interesting one. You ready, Ohio? Because we got some updated numbers for you here. Ohio's got Donald Trump right now, 51.7% of the vote, with Harris at 47.4% of the vote. Still waiting for more reporting on your big counties like Cuyahoga County, Lucas, Franklin, Montgomery, Hamilton. You know what I'm talking about. We know how those places vote, and you got to count all those as well. Georgia is one that's just going to be something I'm going to be thinking about all night long, because Georgia is getting closer and closer every time it refreshes. Let's take a look at Virginia. Virginia is an interesting one right here. Virginia, good mix of rural, good mix of some big city stuff, right? We start talking about DC suburbs and so forth, right? Virginia right now, 46% of the vote has been counted, with Trump right now having, listen to this in Virginia, Trump right now has less than a 3,000 vote lead in Virginia. This is going to be a close one as well. Exciting to see this stuff happen. Now let's go to that Massachusetts one with Deaton. And right now, Deaton is absolutely getting trashed, man. Absolutely getting trashed right now. Warren right now is winning 69% of the vote. That is amazing. 69% of the vote for Warren. Deaton appears had no chance whatsoever to win that election against Pocahontas. Going over to Deaton and his socials, just checking it out, because I want to see if he makes any announcements, because, hey, got to support them crypto bros. Last post was 3 hours, so no updates from Deaton. But right now, it is not looking good, with Warren having, it looks like, just an unsurmountable lead against Deaton. And I got to be honest with everyone watching. Y'all know I said Deaton didn't have a chance, and I wasn't being negative. I was just trying to tell people, you only got so much or so many resources. And you got to make sure you put those resources in places where you have a chance. And right now, it's not looking good for Deaton at all. Early numbers in for Georgia. Boy, is this getting even closer. 180,000 vote lead for Trump in Georgia. In Virginia right now, Trump has got a 6,000 vote lead. Ohio right now, look at this. Trump right now with 120,000 vote lead in Ohio. We know Harris is easily going to carry Illinois. Easily going to carry Illinois. Michigan, probably going to happen there too, right? Michigan has Harris right now with a big lead, but only 8% of the votes counted. Texas right now, about 500,000 votes right now lead for Trump in Texas. Now, mind you, though, you still got California, right? If you're a Democrat, you're holding on for your Californias. You're holding on for your West Coast power votes. But you got to start stealing and chipping away at Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, right? Those are the big states for the Democrats and Republicans. Big deal here. Let's see. Bob says Trump has a big lead in Michigan. Yes, with only 8% of the vote counted for. So we're going to be paying attention to that. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a nail biter. The Georgia one is a lot closer than I thought. I remember Georgia went blue last time around. So very interesting on this. Georgia went blue. North Carolina, we've only got 27% of the vote counted right there. Virginia, 46% of the vote counted, with Trump having a 13,000 vote lead. Ohio right now, Trump with a 130,000 vote lead. Let's talk about Sherrod Brown, though, in Moreno, as I got some new numbers for you. This is close. Sherrod Brown, right? Anti-crypto Sherrod Brown right now in Ohio has a lead of 17,000 votes. That's it. It is a close one. Pancake Fox says Cali, definitely for Harris. Oh, yeah. You're Cali, Illinois, we know those states. And it's the same thing, right? We know South Carolina was going to go for Trump. You know, Florida was going to go for Trump. Like, you know which states are going to go. The big ones to pay attention to are Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Those are the big ones that we are going to be looking for. Christine Dryden says, can Trump really fire Gensler tomorrow, or what's the deal with that? No, it doesn't work that way at all. So whoever gets picked for the presidency, right, they will not take office until January. Once they do that, then they start picking who's going to be like in their cabinet, who's going to be the heads of this and this and this. So honestly, Gensler has got some time. Now, here's the scary thing. If Kamala Harris wins, Gensler would most likely get promoted. So yeah, he would leave his seat at the SEC, but he would most likely get promoted. So we wouldn't see the end of Gensler. I got a feeling we're not going to be seeing the end of Gensler for quite some time. Joe Buddy, oh my gosh, Jay, listen to this. I got to share this comment. Joe Buddy says, I constantly called out Deaton on X on him not explaining why he won't support Trump. The last thing America needed was another rhino. If he gets more vote than Trump, then his game plan worked. Joe, I saw your posts with Deaton on there. And I got to be honest with you. Deaton did not explain a lot of stuff, I think, as well as he should have. He did kind of dodge a few things. And Deaton, it's just, he didn't have the chance. He just did not have the chance. The president can fire Gensler. Yes, of course the president can fire Gensler. The problem is that the new president would not take office until January. That's the problem. Pancake Fox says, isn't it up to the electoral vote and not the popular vote? Correct. Each state on this map is worth X number of electoral votes. So like, for instance, I'm hovering over Texas right now, okay? Hold on, let me take a quick drink. My throat's getting a little roasty right here, okay? Hold on. Okay. There we go. A little bit better right here. Sorry, my throat is just like getting destroyed. Texas right now, you can see it up in the middle of the screen. See right underneath Texas, it says 40 electoral votes. So if Texas goes, right, their electoral votes goes, say, for Trump, Trump will get 40 electoral votes. which would get added to Alabama's 9 electoral votes. Illinois, which we know is going to go to Harris, is worth 19 votes. California is a big one. It's worth 54 votes. All right? And that's what this is up at the top of the screen. This is the Electoral College, right? If the Electoral College goes away the votes of their states, right, of their constituents, that's where this total comes in. And yes, Deaton did lose. That is not good. Deaton, he didn't technically lose yet unless he does his concession speech. But right now, Deaton is getting absolutely pummeled. Absolutely pummeled right now in this election. Warren right now is carrying 68% of the votes, with Deaton only having 31%. So the crypto vote was not as big as people thought. And remember, for those of you that watch my videos, you saw me. I said anyone that wants to bet me that Deaton's going to win, I told him Warren was going to win. Not because I didn't want Deaton to win, but that's just the way that Massachusetts goes, that I would take your money. Well, guess what? No one emailed me. No one messaged me. No one wanted to put their money where their mouth was. Dude, I would have been buying new cars left and right because that's exactly how this was going to go. That's why I bring you the news, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad, with no bias, no BS. I told y'all from the get-go, Deaton didn't have a chance. And I got raked through the mud on it. I lost a whole bunch of subs. I lost a whole bunch of views because people are like, oh, bro, you're anti-Deaton. No, I'm not anti-Deaton. I just know how this election stuff works. And he just didn't have the chance. Now, let's swing it on in because we did get some updates here. We got an update from Georgia. Look at this. 65% of the vote in for Georgia right now, with Trump with a 210,000 vote lead in Georgia. Let's swing it on over to another potential, or another big battleground state here. That's North Carolina. 38% of the vote counted in North Carolina, with right now Trump holding about 100,000 vote lead there. Virginia, Trump's barely holding on with 5,000 vote lead. That is something. What about Ohio? Ohio right now leaning towards Trump with about 170,000 vote lead. Rift says, us in Massachusetts knew Deaton couldn't win. Yeah, I know. I said it too. I did. I said it, and like people like got pissed at me for it. I was telling you the actual news, not the hopium bullshit. That's why I bring you the news, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. Nancy says, what's the count in Pennsylvania? Right now, we got 15% of the vote in Pennsylvania in right now. Harris with a commanding lead in Pennsylvania, but it's still early, okay? Very, very early in Pennsylvania with only 15% of the vote. But right now, Harris commanding lead in Pennsylvania. But wow, is Virginia close. Less than 5,000 votes separates the two candidates in Virginia. What about Michigan? Michigan is early as well, only 8% of the vote counted there. Georgia, another battleground state, right? Georgia, look at this one. Right now, Trump with about a 220,000 vote lead. 66% of the votes right now counted in Georgia. Georgia, remember though, the big thing in Georgia is what, everyone? It's going to be, Chatham County. Why is it big in Chatham County? Well, you know exactly why it's big. Because that is going to be a big Democratic stronghold. So right now, waiting on a few more results to come in, and I will share them with you. Pancake Fox says, you speak the truth, brother. Keep it up. I do. I don't, my channel doesn't grow as fast as other ones because I'm not sitting here telling people like stroke stuff all day. I tell you like what the real odds are. Like, you know what I mean? Like how it really looks, like how it's really going down. No BS, no crap. No, like me trying to sell you stupid stuff. No, I just kind of show you just, you know what I mean? How things really are going. Trucker Trash says, respecting one another's opinion is a key to successful society. That's why I like when people don't agree with me on the channel. Because I want you to feel comfortable that you could share anything you want on the channel and that, right, we could have good conversations regarding it. Trump right now, 154 to Harris's 27. But this doesn't mean much. You know South Dakota is going to go Trump. You know North Dakota, Wyoming. You know all these smaller ones. But now look, South Dakota is only worth 3 electoral college votes. California is worth 54. So yes, it might look big, like Trump has a lot of big states, but those big states, or those states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, are nothing compared to the power of California. Let's see, Texas going to Trump right now. Texas is worth 40 electoral college votes. We got an update on numbers for Deaton right now. The margin of lead for Deaton and Warren. Warren is just putting an absolute beating in on Deaton. What about Ohio with Sherrod Brown? Look at this. Look at this, everyone. We just saw the numbers flip for pro-crypto candidate Bernie Moreno right now. Has a 21,000 vote lead over Sherrod Brown. That's right, incumbent Sherrod Brown, anti-crypto Sherrod Brown in Ohio, is right now behind 21,000 votes with almost 50% of the votes recorded in Ohio. We're going to have to pay close attention to Ohio too, everyone. Trump right now has a lead in Ohio of about 200,000 votes. Again, 50% of the vote right now going to that's been actually recorded. We're getting more states. They're going to be called here officially once their polls close. You're going to see a bunch of numbers here updated, I would say, in about the next half hour. Charles Horn says, while Deaton isn't going to win, I have to say I'm impressed at how he's chipping away percentage-wise at Warren's lead. But what good does it do if you chip away at a lead and you still lose, right? Like I do understand, trust me, I get the idea of wanting to beat, wanting to win, wanting to see, but you got to be honest here too. A loss is a loss, right? So whether he loses by 10 votes or 1,000 votes or 100,000 votes, a loss is a loss. And that means that Warren still gets to be anti-crypto. Warren still gets to go and bash crypto all she wants while she's in the Senate. Ohio's got some updates right here. And is Ohio close? 200,000 votes separates the two candidates. Updates also for North Carolina. North Carolina has Trump's lead right now, shrinking a little bit as those big urban areas are coming in. Georgia, 68% of the vote right now. Right now, Trump's lead in Georgia, 240,000 votes. But we know Kamala's going to carry some of these states here, and that's going to be some big, big numbers going her way. Damn straight, no participation trophy here at all. Now, just give me a quick moment here because I need to stand for a little bit because I'm extremely uncomfortable. So give me a second. Let me try to stand because this is... Sorry, I've got a standing desk, so it's going to mess up my mic here. I just got to be careful. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to do this all live, but like I can't move real well just yet. So like it's really hard for me to do this stuff because standing is very, very uncomfortable. Like really uncomfortable right now. Like I'm actually in a fair amount of pain. Sitting is uncomfortable too. It's kind of a pain in the ass all the way around. All right, here we go. Let's see. Bob S says hopefully Massachusetts will be fed up with Pocahontas after this. The problem we got, though, Bob, is that... here, let me straighten my cam out. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to stand now. I'm trying to loosen up my hips just a little bit because this is not comfortable. The problem with your Massachusetts, your Illinois, they're always going to vote a certain way. Same thing with California. California's what do they call it? A supermajority in California. Supermajority Democratic. So, I mean, you know, how does that help if you keep voting the same way over and over and over? That's why these battleground states of your Georgia, your North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, that's why these are so big, because these can go one way or the other. Georgia, look at this. We've got more results coming in for Georgia. Trump's lead is growing again in Georgia. Right now in North Carolina, it's starting to get closer. Trump right now carries about 115,000 vote lead in North Carolina. Definitely going to be paying attention to that state right there. Pennsylvania, we're getting more numbers in for those Pennsylvania fans out there. Pennsylvania right now, 17% of the vote counted, with Kamala Harris having a commanding lead right now in Pennsylvania. I see Andrew hanging out with us. What's up, Andrew? Andrew says, ladies and gentlemen, this is an important day for all Ripple supporters. But sadly, one of the biggest Ripple supporters out there is getting absolutely blasted. Getting absolutely blasted right now by Warren. Right now, Warren is winning 64% of the votes to Deaton's 34%. Not looking good right now for Deaton. But we're also starting to get some early numbers in from Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas. Yeah, starting to get some results. Mississippi getting some of that action in. Michigan as well. 10% of the vote in right now for Michigan, with Harris with a 40,000 vote lead in Michigan. Bob says check Colorado, Kansas, and Missouri. I just got those numbers in, Bob. I'll share them with you. Right now, hardly any votes in Colorado counted. Super early, like less than 1,000 votes in Colorado counted. Nebraska right now, here you go, 25% of the votes in Nebraska. Right now, Kamala Harris, pretty big lead, 40,000 vote lead in Nebraska. 25% of the vote counted. Kansas right now, Nebraska's southern friend, has Kamala Harris with a 21,000 vote lead, with 37% of the vote being counted. Illinois, we know, is definitely going to be going towards Kamala Harris. Iowa's an interesting one. I'm curious about Iowa. Very, very curious about Iowa. Philly gets 110% of the registered voters. Well, in Chicago, the whole thing was vote early, vote often, and vote even if you are dead. Yep, that's right. New York has got some numbers rolling through right now, with Harris having a commanding lead in New York. You're going to see a lot of these up here turn blue, okay? This is all expected. So far right now, no big shocks, except for the fact that Trump is leading pretty big right now in Georgia. And let's zoom into Georgia and see what the numbers are looking like, okay? Right now, let's look at Fulton County. Fulton County right now, 72%, okay? 72% of the vote has been counted, but a big chunk of that's going to Harris. So we know we got some more Harris votes coming in from Fulton County. We also got Clark County, right, where Athens is. You're going to see what, everyone? You're going to see some more votes for Harris come in with Clark County. In Clark County, only 3% of the vote isn't counted yet, or has been counted. Chatham County, where Savannah is, that's a big Democratic stronghold. We haven't seen the numbers, okay? Now, the big thing with that is this. 6% of Chatham counties voted. The majority of that's going to go Democratic. So it's going to be very interesting to see when we get these big urban area, numbers coming in, what it comes out to. Miguel Casilla says, outside of Chicago, why does Chicago always go blue? Okay, this is how it works. Chicago as a city is always blue. The suburbs around Chicago are pretty much Chicago. They vote blue as well. Once you get out of like the Chicago metro and like the suburbs, it's all red. It is all red. You start thinking of like all the ag stuff in Illinois. You start thinking of everything south of I-80, it's all red. It is all red, except for like Urbana-Champaign, but pretty much all red going down south in Illinois. Anyone got any states they want to zoom in specifically to? Because right now we've got quite a few percentages, quite a few updates coming through. So if there's any states that you want me to check, let me know. Charles Horn says Illinois as a state doesn't really have as many residents outside of Chicago. Yeah, it's very interesting because Chicago and Illinois is just like Milwaukee and Wisconsin, right? Which is just like Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania. The big cities just carry big bulks of these votes. And these big cities are notoriously Democratic, right? That's just how the votes have been. So what happens is, strategy-wise, the Republicans look at how many rural votes can they carry and can they chip away these big urban counties, okay? The Democrats look at this and go, look, we have to carry these urban counties really big, but we also have to steal some votes from the rural sections out there. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So this is Atlanta, all right? And Atlanta is in Fulton County, all right? Atlanta right now, Harris has a massive lead. 72% of the people in Fulton County voted for Harris. Now, the next county over, Carroll County, 70% of the people vote for Trump. That is how different it is from urban to rural voting in most states. So you're going to see that. You're going to see like this Atlanta metro area is going to be blue, and then it's going to be all red out here. And it's going to look just like that in Ohio too. You're going to see these big cities, right? Your Cleveland, Toledo, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus. All them big cities are all going to go blue. Bro, you serious? Says, how did Warren win again? Easily. Massachusetts goes blue, man. I told everyone that. I've told everyone time and time again that Deaton should not have picked his race against Warren. Deaton should have gone after a much weaker opponent. Sherrod Brown. All right, let's talk Sherrod Brown and Moreno. Moreno is very pro-crypto. Sherrod Brown is very anti-crypto. Moreno had a chance to beat Sherrod Brown because Ohio can swing. Ohio can totally swing. That's why it made sense to put resources into Bernie Moreno if you wanted him to win against the Democrats, because he actually had a chance. And in fact, Moreno right now has an 80,000 vote lead over Sherrod Brown. That is huge. Getting some more results in as well. Starting to see some New Mexico numbers rolling in. More numbers from Colorado. I got an update for Nebraska for you. Nebraska worth 5 electoral college votes. Nebraska sitting right now with a 30,000 vote lead for Kamala Harris with 28% of the population there reporting. 39% reported in Kansas with Kamala Harris having a 24,000 vote lead. Now, let's talk about those close ones, okay? Let's touch on these close ones, and then let me know if there's a state you want me to hover over to give you an idea of how that action is looking. Look at Georgia. We've been following Georgia all night, okay? This is way, way different than what a lot of people were expecting. We thought this was going to be close. Remember, we haven't gotten what, everyone? We haven't gotten the Savannah votes yet. And Savannah goes blue. Right now, Trump's lead in Georgia with 69% of the vote counted right now sits at 230,000 votes. Is that a big enough buffer for Georgia, for Trump to carry Georgia, knowing that we're waiting for big numbers in Chatham County? We're still waiting for more numbers in Bibb County, more numbers in Richmond, more numbers in Fulton and DeKalb County, Clayton County, Henry County. We're waiting for some big numbers there. Clark County as well only has 3% of the vote. Let's see, we got Washington and Minnesota. Washington, it is way too early yet to get any results out for Washington. Minnesota, I got your back because we just got some numbers in right now. Minnesota, less than 1% of the vote in. Trump with a pretty hefty lead, but it's less than 1% of the vote in. So I'm not looking too strong on that yet, right? It's way too early. Andrew says, hoping some Canadians went on down and used their non-voter ID to give Trump some support. I regret that I did not. Can we vote for Deaton if we don't live in the state? No, you cannot. You can only vote for Deaton if you live in Massachusetts, everyone. Michigan. Good guy wants an update on Michigan. Let's do that because, yep, we did. We got an update on Michigan right now. 10% of the vote in on Michigan with Kamala Harris with a pretty big lead right now of about 44,000 votes. That's just going to be something that it's early. Very, very early there in Michigan. I'm looking at Trump's updated numbers right now in Georgia. Like I said, they're updating this as fast as they can. Trump's numbers in Georgia right now giving me 240,000 vote lead. This is a very interesting. I don't think Georgia was going to go this way at all. I'm seeing Wisconsin right now up on the screen. Love me some Wisconsin. Lived there for 3 years. Wisconsin right now, hardly seeing any of the votes coming in right now. Harris is taking lead. Wisconsin is going to play this way, right? We're going to see how big of a vote she could steal from those big cities in Wisconsin. How much can she take from Milwaukee? All right? From Milwaukee. Mandy Hernandez says, we need Moreno to pull it out. Yeah, let's talk about Moreno because this has gone back and forth the entire night of reporting this. But it appears that Bernie Moreno's lead, everyone, is starting to grow right now with a 62,000 vote lead for Moreno ahead of incumbent Sherrod Brown. Wow. Wowers, there's some very interesting things happening here with this election. I was personally not thinking Georgia was going to be this close. North Carolina, it's still early. I'm waiting to see some bigger things in. North Carolina, Trump's lead right now is only 54,000 votes. Pennsylvania, only 22% of the vote in right now. Big time Kamala Harris lead right there. Ohio, though, look at this. Look at Ohio. If Trump carries Ohio and Georgia, it is going to be a very tough road for the Democrats. Right now, Ohio, I got an update that just came across. Ohio, 56% of the vote has been counted. Donald Trump's lead right now in Ohio, 290,000 votes. That is a big, big number, but we're waiting for those big cities to report, everyone. Georgia, I got another update for you in Georgia. 70% of the vote right now in Georgia has come across. Trump's lead is still strong. Fulton County, 78% of the vote has been recorded there. 72% in Richmond. Savannah, I'm telling everyone right now, look out for Chatham County in Savannah. You're going to get a late reading on the votes right there. That is going to be a big one because that is going to be a big Democratic stronghold in Chatham County. But is it enough for Kamala Harris to get the lead from Trump with that Chatham County vote? Bibb County right now, another big urban one with Macon there. 69% of the vote counted as well. Let's see. Trucker Tress has got a bump. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm not sure how long I'll be on tonight. I'm honestly not feeling good at all. Like I know I'm having fun, but I physically still don't feel good for my race. Like I'm physically still a little shaky. I'm standing up right now. I'm kind of, you can tell I'm pivoting. I'm like massaging my legs while I'm onto the thing. Scotty G's in the house. Choo-choo, bitches. What's up, Scotty? How are you doing? We got some more updates here. You got a little Maine action. Maine, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, right now, 29% of the vote in. Kamala Harris, a pretty big lead right now in New Hampshire. Pennsylvania's an interesting one. Pennsylvania right now is going big towards Kamala Harris. Very big towards Kamala Harris. Minnesota, we're going to start getting some results in. Wisconsin, Michigan, 10% of the vote in right now on Michigan. And guess what? Michigan's right now going Kamala Harris with about a 50,000 vote margin. Charles says, don't feel bad if you have to dip, dude. So many of these races won't have closed 4 days. I know, but I really like this stuff. Like, hopefully y'all can tell, like, the excitement and the genuine enthusiasm that I have to do this. And in fact, like, if I can dork out here just, like, a little bit, like, I do a lot of, like, racing and stuff like that. And, like, you know, I do my Colorado trips. I do a lot of, like, fun, like, extreme stupid stuff. But I got to admit, like, I always miss not doing the channel for a little bit. Like, I was gone for a couple days with racing. I was gone, you know, with Colorado. I always feel bad not doing the channel because, like, I actually like this. Like, this is fun for me. Like, this is actual excitement. This is, like, me being at home. It's 9:20. I'm going to do some election stuff. So let's do this, all right? I'm going to roll this election till 9:30 today, and then maybe we'll pick some action up tomorrow or later tonight. I also want to make sure that I hang out with my wife at home. I want to watch some election stuff with her. So let's keep things going until 9:30 p.m. Miguel Casilla says, what has been counted in Pennsylvania? I will do that for you. Give me a second here real quick, and I will get that for you. So we are going to go swing it on over to Pennsylvania, and let's take a look on what's been counted. All right, so for Pennsylvania, we've got right now 22% of the vote that's been counted. But let's go to those big counties, all right? Let's start it out with Erie. Erie County, only 1% of the vote has been counted. Allegheny County with Pittsburgh, only 40% of the vote. Harrisburg, only 25% of the vote. Well, what about Philly? 21% of the vote there. Delaware County, just west of there, 18%. Montgomery, northwest, so Philly proper, right? You got low percentages there for Philly and Scranton, PA, paper company, only 80% counted. Or not only, a lot, 80% counted. So right now, Miguel, you're seeing very little big city reporting for Pennsylvania. Georgia right now, oh my gosh, is this getting crazy. Right now, it looks like Trump's lead is starting to grow in Georgia. But remember, we don't have that Chatham County vote in just yet. Atlanta County still got quite a few votes. Clark County as well, okay? Clark County, there's only 3% of the votes covered there, and that's Athens. Athens is a very, very Democratic voting area. Augusta as well, 72%. Burke County, 5% of the votes counted. So you still got quite a bit, all right? Quite a bit that's up for grabs right now in Georgia. In terms of Deaton, Deaton is absolutely done, unfortunately. Warren is putting an absolute pounding on Deaton right now. Warren right now, 61% of the vote compared to Deaton's 38%. That is brutal. Ohio, what about that Bernie Moreno, Sherrod Brown? Because remember, Sherrod Brown is very anti-crypto, everyone. Bernie Moreno is the pro-crypto candidate. Look at this. Bernie Moreno's lead right now increasing for the Senate race right now for the Republicans with a 100,000 vote lead with 58% of the votes counted. This is going to be a close one. Right now, though, the Trump lead in Ohio is expanding with 330,000 vote lead right now for Trump in Ohio. Let's go to the main map right now and look at the popular vote. Popular vote right now has Trump with 29 million, Kamala with 26 million. But remember, she's going to steal a whole bunch of these West Coast votes, all right? Bob's got it right. Go Ohio. Get her done, right? Remember, it's the Ohio State University. Ohio right now, Trump 1.9 million votes. Kamala Harris 1.56 million. So you're starting to see some very interesting things happen here. Now Pennsylvania, okay, let's highlight Pennsylvania a little bit here. Pennsylvania, 24% of the vote has been counted, with Harris's lead growing. 240,000 votes right there. XRP King Duck says, did people even watch the Warren Deaton debate? Dude, debates don't do anything, man. Like, for real, debates don't, like, most people, like, when it comes to their votes, they've already decided. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've already decided. So, I don't see debates as, like, a thing that sways votes. Because how many more people are swayed by their favorite actor or actress telling them who to vote for than they are by an actual debate? And that's not me ripping on the American public as a whole. That's just me telling you how it really is. Now, let's get into some more numbers that are coming across, because I'm seeing some Wisconsin numbers coming across. Michigan's coming across with Kamala Harris, a 60,000 vote lead. Nebraska, Kamala Harris with the lead right now in Nebraska. 53% for her, 44% for Trump. Let's see, what else do I got for you? I've got some Kansas numbers, everyone. Right now, Kansas, 42% of the vote counted in Kansas, with Kamala Harris right now, a 15,000 vote lead. Georgia, though, wow, is this Georgia race exciting. 73% of the vote right now counted in Georgia, with Trump having a 230,000 vote lead. There you go. That is something to watch out for tonight. How about this? How about North Carolina right now? North Carolina, you got Trump with right now having a 110,000 vote lead, with 54% of the vote counted there. Let's swing it on over to Pennsylvania as we're getting more updates from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania still strong for Kamala Harris. She's got a 230,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania. 25% of the people reported there. But one of the big stories is Ohio. And look at this update for Ohio. Just got another update in, with Trump having about a 340,000 vote lead. Wow. Now, let's talk big picture strategy, okay? This is why we're doing this. Big picture strategy. For the Democrats to win, they're looking at Georgia. They're looking at North Carolina. They got to start pulling those. Same thing for the Republicans. If the Republicans can pull out a Georgia win and a North Carolina win, or even a Georgia win and an Ohio win, it is going to make it real tough for the Democrats to pull this one out. It is going to be very tough because right now a lot of the Democrats were thinking that this Georgia one would look a little different. Now remember, we don't have all of the reporting in for Georgia, but we're getting close, everyone. We are getting really close right now with Georgia. Ohio as well. I mean, think we're at 59% of the counted vote right now in Ohio, and that's something you got to pay attention to. I mean, look at the numbers up on the screen. All right, you got New York, obviously, is going to be going to Kamala Harris. No surprise there. New York always going blue. So if you got the totals right now, Trump at 162, Harris at 62, but you know Harris is going to take a bunch of these as well. Illinois is definitely going to go for Harris. Early results right now in Wisconsin are showing Trump with a 9,000 vote lead. Doomslayer says, if Trump gets North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, it's done. I'll say this, Doomslayer. If Trump carries Georgia and Ohio, all right? If Trump carries Georgia and Ohio, the Democrats are going to have a lot of problems on their hands. They're going to have a lot of problems on their hands. North Carolina, I don't know. Okay, the thing about North Carolina is this. You got Raleigh, you got Greensboro. Now, Trump has a pretty big lead, though, and let's do this. Let's zoom in specifically to North Carolina real quick here so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about with that. North Carolina, you got to worry about Greensboro. You got to worry about Winston-Salem. Let me show you the map to show you the counties here, okay? Look at Raleigh, Wake County, okay? Raleigh, 76% reported right there. What about Charlotte? Mecklenburg County, only 10%. We know Kamala's going to carry a lot there. Buncombe County, right where Asheville is. Look at this. A lot of support for Kamala, but 88% recorded. And Wilmington as well. We're talking New Hanover County. Barely anyone reported there yet. So what about Greensboro, right? You got Greensboro in Guilford County. You're going to get a lot more votes counted there. So that's going to be a little tough. That's going to be a little... I don't know about North Carolina. Georgia's looking good. I got to be honest with you. The trend for the Georgia numbers are looking really strong for the Republicans right now. But anything can happen. Ohio is starting to really separate more and more for Trump. But we know that those big cities got to register their vote. Let me get a little bit of drink real quick right here. Oh, sorry about that. All right. I don't know. I'm shocked by some of this so far. I gotta be honest with you. Ukraine went Kamala. That's a funny one. Y'all make me laugh sometimes. The Georgia one has me shocked. I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna watch the Georgia one. I'm gonna pay a lot of attention to this Georgia one because 74% of the votes are counted, and Trump has got like a 240,000 vote lead. That's big stuff right here. But this is what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now, but I'm gonna leave the stream playing. Okay, and if anything happens, I'm gonna leave all my monitors up so that you all can like watch this and actually see what happens. Okay, so if something breaks, I'm gonna have it all running. If not, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to turn it off and go to bed. So what I'm going to do right now is play some tunes for you. I'm going to leave the heat map, the bubble map on. I'm going to leave the election map on so y'all can watch it. If something breaks, I will be coming back here. So if you see something big bumping on the news, trust me, I will be back on here to broadcast it live. But I want to make sure I hang out with the family tonight. So I will catch you all later if some news breaks.